Happy Sunday or happy beginning of your week, depending on when you're watching this. Excited to read for y'all today. So, the first thing that came in today as I was sitting down to read for the collective is Spirit showed me this image of a cauldron. And it was very full and it was very messy. It was like there were splashes, boil over, stuff dripping onto the floor. But it was this glorious, group of colors. Like, have you ever heard of the color octarine? Google it. Enjoy yourself. It was this octarine, magical, pink, purple, blue, iridescent, magical mix, but it's making a mess. And what Spirit was saying about that is creation is messy. Change is messy. Building something up from nothing is inherently a messy process. And sometimes we cut ourselves off from doing something really cool because we're afraid to make a mess. Because we're afraid to not know exactly how it's going to turn out, or we're afraid we're going to turn out to not be as good as we wanted to be, or whatever. Creation is not mechanical. It's messy. And Spirit wants you to not avoid creation just because it's a little messy. And one of the examples they're giving me is somebody wants to make art, and they're like, but I'm not an artist. And Spirit is like, what? What are you talking about? Hola, hola, welcome, welcome, good morning. Spirit's like, what are you talking about? Once in a while, Spirit will dial in with some stuff that is biblical. And they'll be like, let us give you the translation for what this was originally meant to say. And one of them is, we are made in the image of our Creator, right? And one of the ways that Spirit says that is true is we are creators. Look around at the world. Look at all the things that people have invented, built, cultivated, dreamed up and dreamed into tangible reality. All of us are artists. All of us are creators. You might not put pen to paper or paint on canvas. You're an artist and a creator. And creating a change in yourself or your life is a cauldron and a messy process. And the other thing they're saying about the cauldron is part of the reason maybe your creation hasn't taken shape the way you want it to yet is that, again, you've been hesitant to get messy and to mix things up and maybe throw some things in there that you haven't tried out before. So they're also now showing me kind of the magician card, this idea of you have everything that you need, but you might need to remix it. Like ingredients, right? Maybe a little less of this, a little more of that. Don't be afraid to fuck it up. It's like showing me somebody in the lab and, pouring chemicals together and poof, like a cartoon where the face blackens, the eyebrows singe, but they're good. They're alive. They just now know, oh, that wasn't it. Okay, next. And when you have that kind of lovingly detached approach to things, you tend to get better outcomes, okay? So you're not making it mean something about you if it doesn't turn out the way that you wanted it to the first time or whatever. Does that make sense? Okay. Keep that in your back pocket as we get into the weekly forecast. Let us see what the day by day is showing us this week, calling forth from us, what Spirit wants us to know about it for our highest good. I always spend a considerable amount of time before we get together praying and setting this intention that the truth come through, the truth that is loving and liberating, the truth, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is that we need to know in order to get the best and the most out of the week. So let's see what they want to say. Starting with today through to next week. Spirit, what's showing up for us? What would you want us to bring our awareness to for our highest good this week? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I need a bigger table. And what about Wednesday? It's interesting. I haven't seen the cards. I like to find them out as we go. But Spirit, as I was tuning into Wednesday, said something about Mercury. Wednesday is Mercury Day. It's the day of the week named for the planet Mercury. Curious, there might be some kind of writing or communication that is really important on Wednesday. So just look out for that. Haven't seen the cards yet. That's just what I'm hearing is that's a Mercury day. Maybe if you need to say something, that could be a day where you get some clarity, something like that. Spirit, let's look at Thursday, Friday, and finally next Saturday, the day before we meet again. Saturday. Okay, let's see what we've got. Hey, together we can do it. That goes double for tomorrow. That's funny. Okay. Okay. A spirit is asking this question right off the bat. How much do you trust yourself? How much do you trust yourself to be able to show up to a situation and like handle it, whatever it is, if it's a confrontation, if it's just maybe a tender conversation where there's like sensitive topics involved. Do you trust yourself? And you might be getting some feedback. You might be finding some things out about how well you trust yourself and how well you're kind of able to resolve certain situations. I can see why they were bringing a cauldron into it, because there is kind of a transformational theme here. What kind of choices do we make based on the kind of circumstances that we are faced with? So let's talk about it. Today, Sunday, a fiery, creative day, a day where you might actually be able to understand how close you are to getting something or completing something that you've been wanting for a long time. The Nine of Wands is extreme stick-to-itiveness. It's extreme follow through. It is, I'm not letting this go. I'm like a dog with a bone. I want to make this happen. The kind of person who I'm really hearing, you deserve some community support for anything that you've been working on this long and this hard. Four of Wands, family, partnership, commitment. Spirit is like, we used to call this the marriage card. Now we would call it like the commitment card. Maybe even the like moving in together card. This is not true for everybody, but this is something that Spirit is saying is for some people. It's like after a long-term relationship, we're making things official, or we're moving in together, or we're committing in a new way. For others, this is about like a creative project, or you are your own creative project, Spirit is saying. So it's like if you have been working in therapy on an aspect of yourself, or you've been working in the gym on your physical body, or whatever it is, you're getting a lot of support and congratulations for the work that you've put in. And I feel like Spirit is asking you to give yourself a little bit more credit. We'll get there. They're talking more about that as the week goes. But I need you to give yourself a little bit more credit for lasting as long as you have, coming up against battle after battle, looking a little tired, looking a little beat up, but look at all of the weapons that you have claimed from all of the battles and oppositions and difficult encounters that you've come up against over the years. Spirit's like, please pat yourself on the back. Sometimes, especially when we've been working on something for a really long time and we're like, where is the fucking finish line? We can get, that's really discouraging. And that's one of the dangers of the Nine of Wands. It's a never give up card, but it's also kind of like a, come on, are we there yet? Are you serious? And Spirit is like, instead of looking from the bottom or the mid of the mountain up to the tippy top and going, God, this is where I should be. Why am I not there yet? I'm blah, blah, blah. Look at where you've come from. Look how far you have come. And take a moment to give yourself some appreciation, maybe even to celebrate. This is a card of like a party, a homecoming. Maybe you need to give yourself a little bit of a, Spirit is showing me, if any of you have read or watched Lord of the Rings, Spirit is showing me lembas bread. Lembas bread in Lord of the Rings is an elvish magical food that is like so delicious and super filling. So even if you have a tiny little bit of it and you're on a long journey, like it'll take care of you. And Spirit's like, you need to have a little pause, have yourself a little lembas bread, have yourself a little enjoyment, sup a little something, give yourself credit, and then keep moving forward. I see that it's very much like you're so close. You're closer than you might even think. You like truly giving yourself the credit and maybe even asking for the feedback or support that you need from family or people that feel that close, like friends. That could be the thing that gets you kind of like over the edge. So maybe you're thinking like, I have to do this all by myself. and there's some support available. I just see it. Let's talk about it because it comes right up. So Monday, somebody's got a case of the Mondays. We're pulling 2 cards for each day, by the way, so that I can get kind of like a Venn diagram. Like, what are we looking at here? So if we were looking at death on its own, it could be like, uh-oh, something's ending. Is it bad? Is it tough? But we see the 3 of Cups with that death card. So it's like there's actually a celebration to this ending. What I'm hearing for some people is like there was a long-standing confusion. Ooh, Spirit is showing me a hangnail. And they're saying somebody was like, let's say, being kept on the back burner. Like you really liked somebody. This could be a metaphor, okay? This could be absolutely true and raising the hair on the back of somebody's neck, but this is a metaphor for everybody who's not that person. You could really like somebody and you could be feeling that they are not as in it as you are. And Spirit is showing, again, this hangnail where it's like, it's painful, like just clip it off. This thing that is a hangnail on you, on your life, clip it off. You can get much nicer. You can really take care of that nail and have it grow out lovely and beautiful. This is not ever going to be it. That's what I'm hearing. So something that you're happy to finally clip off and you celebrate it. 3 of Cups is another echo of the 4 of Wands. Celebration, friendship, companionship. So what are you ready to cut down? Spirit is really highlighting the sickle for me here. What are you ready to harvest? What are you ready to be done with? What are you ready to completely move on from? That it will lighten your load tremendously. And I feel like I'm really feeling like, and don't look back. That's the vibe that I'm getting from Spirit, is like, lest you turn into a pillar of salt and lose your nerve, walk away and maybe again engage those friends or that support system that, or Spirit is saying, even if you're one of these people living in the atomized 21st century who's like, I don't have friends like that. I don't have like a support system like that to call up or whatever. There are Reddit threads for whatever you're going through, or online support groups or whatever. That also counts. Getting support from people who understand where you're coming from and how much it took for you to go through this, really helpful, okay? So let's not be discriminating about who we get the help from. Spirit, when I look at Tuesday, is using first and foremost the phrase, standing on your own 2 feet. Proudly standing up for who you are and what you believe in. 9 of Pentacles, some people may have kind of like a financial bump or confirmation, like we're signing the paper that gives you the raise, because 9 of Pentacles is, wow, I've done a really great job, you know, it's an echo of the 9 of Wands that we got for today. The 9s are all related, right? Look at everything that I have fought through, all of the energy and drive and creativity and willingness to face conflict with the Wands that I've been able to do. And over here with the Pentacles, look at how I've been able to patiently, consistently cultivate, grow my skills, grow my money, take care of my health, take care of my people. Now, you can't satisfy everybody. 5 of Wands, you need to stand on your own 2 feet. You may get drawn into some unnecessary distractions and conflicts with the 5 of Wands. And Spirit is really highlighting for me here. Look how this particular 5 of Wands is depicted. Has anybody seen Ip Man? This is very specific, but Spirit is showing me in this movie called Ip Man, which is about a famous, it's based on a true story, and it's based on a famous martial artist. And he has this tool that he uses to practice fighting with, which is this wooden multi-pronged, hey, why did I know Fernando was going to have seen Ip Man? Like, I love that fucking movie. The sequels, okay, we won't talk about it. But the first one, that one is fucking amazing. So he has this wooden person that he fights with, right, to practice his fighting on. Spirit is showing me, like, this is like that. This is, you think that you are talking to somebody else and maybe getting through to them or maybe like making some points, and it's like, no. So they're showing me that and saying it's not worth it. This person is not. I feel like there's a maturity or intelligence kind of discrepancy, or maybe even just we just don't see it for each other. We can't see past this for each other. So even if we're trying to make peace, even if we're trying to understand each other, we just keep bumping into shit. The other thing that they're pointing out to me is, look how this looks like a match. This is not built to last. How fast do matches burn down? Really fucking fast. And then what? The energy is gone. The spark is gone. A spark that you might have been able to take in your day to invest in growing your skills, growing yourself, growing your money, whatever it is. You could lose and burn out that spark by engaging in distracting, unnecessary conflicts. So I say, stand on your own 2 feet, be a little bit, rely on yourself. That is also something that I'm hearing for Tuesday, is rely on yourself just for that day. We're not laying this down in general. But rely on yourself, because I don't think other people are going to quite see it that way. Again, we're in the shank of summer. It's getting hotter. People are getting more pissed off, more frustrated, more impatient. It's getting hotter in the literal climate. It's getting hotter in the figurative climate. People are liable to pop off. Keep your energy for what you really want to put it into. That's what I'm really hearing, is like, be discerning about where you put that energy. I could have this conflict, or I could go for a walk, or go make something, or go talk to somebody fun. Like, I don't need to do this. So Wednesday, Spirit talked about Mercury when I was turning over the cards. Hey, welcome, Lexi. Never too late, never too late. Spirit brought up the word Mercury and the aspects, the realm of Mercury for Wednesday. Communication, messaging, messages. This is a day where everything is not what it seems. Now that I finally see the cards, this is Spirit really doubling down on everything is not what it seems on Wednesday. So I feel like play it really cool. Play your cards a little close to your chest. Wait for more information. Spirit is saying one of the ironies of like gaining clarity is we have to engage with confusion. To get to clarity, we have to engage with the confusion, and most of us don't want to do that, so we just tell ourselves that we know what's happening, and then, oh, surprise, like, oh, I didn't know what was happening, and actually they were cheating, or like, or it actually wasn't as good or as bad or whatever as I thought it was. Better to actually get an accurate picture of what's going on than to feel like I know what's going on. The reason the High Priestess is so wise and so intuitive is that she is open and she is balanced, both at the same time. You know people who are very open but very imbalanced. So they might be getting downloads, but it's like, or you might know people that are quite balanced but not very open. This, to be intuitive, to pick up on the signals that are more subtle, that are underneath the words, you know, and we're in Mercury retrograde. Makes sense that Spirit is referencing like things are not what they seem. The communication could come through in a way that is quite confusing, and don't act immediately. That's what the High Priestess would tell you, kind of like the Nine of Pentacles and the Five of Wands from the previous day, is like, if we are going to respond to whatever this is, it's better to respond to it than to react to it. When we react, we can't take it back, and we're not using all of our faculties. When we respond, that means we're taking our time. We're taking in like, huh, that was a weird way to communicate this. Is there something going on that I don't know about? Huh, we did have that conflict last week and we never quite resolved it. Maybe they're still carrying something about that and whatever, and able to gently, calmly interpret the signals and look for. The Spirit is saying, use life like your tarot cards. Make life your own tarot cards. What do I mean by that? I mean, I ran into this person and they were a real Page of Swords. I had a real Page of Swords experience with somebody cutting me off or cutting through the bullshit in the middle of the meeting. It was kind of awkward, but it was amazing to witness or whatever. Very record scratch moment. Or I was trying to go enjoy the habit or the place or the group of people that I usually associate with. But when I tried to associate with it, it just felt empty. And I had a real Eight of Cups kind of experience. Start looking for what the patterns of your life are showing you. Is it like, there's a lot of energy and goodness over here, and there's not a lot of energy and goodness over here. I'm not getting a lot of response from this person or this thing. Take that for what it is. Take that in and don't ignore it. All of the data is going to be useful. But again, prioritize your balance and like your calm nervous system. When you are in the throes, let us say that this person gets your goat. Let's say that this person does get your goat on fucking Tuesday and you end up getting thrown into like a rage spiral, or even like have a little rage-gasm on the internet or whatever, and you are left depleted. You don't want to make decisions or divinations or assumptions in that space. You want to go do whatever it is that takes care of yourself, that brings you back down to a good, smooth, steady baseline. And again, then you respond, not react. Something could really, around that Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to get right into Thursday. Around that midweek chunk, somebody might call you out your name, threaten to call you out of yourself, out of your values is what I mean, and into like, oh, I wish I hadn't responded like that. Whether it's, I just wish that I had said actually the thing that I wanted to say, or whether it's, well, now I told off my boss and like there might be consequences for that, or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Be steady on your own 2 feet, as Spirit opened with about Tuesday. So, stepping from the Moon and the High Priestess on Wednesday into Thursday, we have the Ten of Swords, followed by Temperance. Death was also, let's not forget, on Monday. So the end of a situation, transformation, walking through a door and closing it behind you. Ten of Swords is saying something could really be done to death. Done to death on Thursday. Maybe even that Five of Wands conflict carries over into Thursday. And that's when it finally, you put it to rest. The Spirit is actually using the word like blocked. And I'm hearing some people may feel like, I can't talk to this person anymore. I don't even want to see them on my timeline or my feed or my, name your social media vernacular, whatever. I like mute, block, delete. That's what I'm kind of feeling, is like this literally engaging with this person or their content or their thoughts does nothing for me. And in order to take care of myself, I need to put a stop to this and be done with it, because it's doing nothing for me. And that's how you'll know it. You'll know your Ten of Swords because it's like, I've tried everything. I've said everything. I've tried to persuade. I've tried to cajole. I've tried to convince. I've tried to understand myself and try to work around and handle it in a different way, and nothing works. Okay, I can let this go. And I can dust my hands off and be like, I did my best. And that's, with the Ten of Swords, it really is like you did everything that you could. You can really leave it behind. Nothing was going to revitalize this, resuscitate this. So let it be done. Let it be done. Take care of yourself. Look at this barren ass ground and look at the flowers, the green, the trees, the lushness of, let me go take care of me. And Spirit opened the reading with the channeled message was this vision of a cauldron. And here we have maybe the only card in this whole deck that features a cauldron. I didn't even remember. She's mixing up the ingredients. Yin, yang, black wing, white wing. It's not about purity, it's about balance. We need shadow to create dimension. When everything is all light, it's blotted out, it has no shape. When everything is all dark, again, it's blotted out, it has no shape. But when they are together, they can really paint a beautiful picture, or they can really create a very whole human being. So, do not feel like you have to make this work, especially at the cost of taking care of yourself. And I will also say that Temperance says you don't have to do all or nothing. You don't have to go to extremes. Maybe the Ten of Swords is something that is just happening around you, and your only choice is to take care of yourself with that Temperance card. The thing that I'm feeling also with that is be careful of going overboard. Be careful of overindulging in order to maybe like escape the pain or numb the pain, like overeating or overdrinking, overdoing a substance. Like I'm even hearing like watch out for like sleeping too much and stuff like that, because my Pisces people or my water sign people, it might be like things are really hard right now and everything in my body is just telling me to go to sleep and sleep for like most of the day. And I'm hearing be gentle with yourself, but don't go to any extremes even with being gentle with yourself. So balance. Again, this theme of balance that is really present in the reading. Let's go ahead and take that right into Friday. Balance. Let's talk about it. So we have death, 10 of swords, the moon, the 5 of wands, etc. Now we have the 4 of cups. Clearly some things are happening this week that are not going, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's not all, 10 of cups and 6 of wands and etc. Right? We've got some good stuff, but we got some tough stuff and some disappointments here. Some people, this is what I'm hearing. Some people not responding the way that we want them to, not giving back or giving in the first place in the way that we want them to. I feel that there is some kind of like emotional disappointment. And what Spirit is really pointing out is it's like we are thinking about like, this is how I wanted it to go, and this is how it's going. And at the cost, perhaps, of our overfixation on how it was supposed to be or how it is supposed to be, we could miss out on a blessing. That is the most important part of the 4 of Cups, is like, hey, there is a blessing here. It's just coming from a different direction, or it's coming in a different guise. Maybe you wanted this person to be the love of your life, but actually here comes the love of your life, but they're like back over your shoulder where you can't see them yet because whatever. You had a fantasy in your mind, right, about how this person was going to be or how this was going to go. And then the reality, as often happens, doesn't compare to the fantasy, right? It's messy, to come back to our cauldron channeled message at the beginning of the reading. It's a little messier. And your blessing is still on the way. You are still about to receive something new. So rather than getting all tied up and bogged down in any disappointment, again, seek balance. Seek clarity. If there is a disappointment, what is this disappointment showing me or teaching me? What is it asking me to do in response? You know what I mean? Like, is this disappointment like purely internal, where it's like, I just really wanted something to go a different way and it didn't. I'm disappointed, maybe even in myself. The only reason to engage with the feeling of being disappointed in oneself is to be like, what do I need to change? Like, what do I need to learn from that so that the next time I try it or whatever, it has a better outcome, or I become a better person through this difficult experience or this disappointment, right? Spirit is also saying, let yourself be surprised with that blessing. It's not going to come the way that you want it to or the way you think it should. And Spirit often has a better imagination than we do and a better scope. So we might think like, oh, the best, Spirit's like, hey, where do you want to eat? And we might think of like our favorite restaurant within, 20, 30 minutes. But they're like, well, yeah, what about, Paris? What about India? What about wherever? Like, how about that though? So they're like, you might be thinking a little small. And our blessing is going to surprise you because it's outside of your current scope. So let's widen the scope, shall we? Like, let's open up to some possibilities. Justice. Make a decision based on your disappointment that brings your life into better balance. This didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. What do I need to make? What kind of adjustment to the plan do I need to make so that I get a better outcome next week or next time or whatever? I also like seeing temperance right before justice, because telling you to, again, learn from whatever your disappointment is, to make gentle, easy, soft adjustments is going to bring about a better outcome. It's going to bring you into balance, and it's going to have you rejecting things that are not for you and embracing things that are for you. Now, I feel like we've got kind of a two roads diverged in a yellow wood situation as we approach our final card. There's definitely a theme throughout this whole reading of choices. And coming into next Saturday, it kind of feels like one group of people is like, I know what I'm doing, and I just need to keep doing it exactly like this, and then I know it's going to all turn out right. And another group is going, okay, I think there might actually be a different way of doing this, or something else that I could bring in, making a new choice. Four of Pentacles is very stuck and stagnant energy. The Two of Wands is I have options. I may not even know what all of those options are yet, but I do have options. Spirit is saying this is a choice between perceived safety and messy adventure. Four of Pentacles is like, I will never be disappointed in what I'm able to do because I'm making the box for myself so tiny. You know what I mean? Like, I can't go that wrong when my box is this small, or my expectations, or my ceiling for money or pleasure or love or adventure or whatever. As long as I keep it, if I keep my expectations really low, I can't be disappointed. And Spirit is like, we would love to invite you to think bigger. Think bigger. Go beyond your current scope for what you think is possible. You have, Spirit is bringing me back to, everybody is a creator. Everybody, you don't have to be an artist to be a creator. You create change. You decide to take something out of your life or put something into your life, or to do something with yourself, or to no longer do something with yourself. Think about the fact that we are the unique animal on this planet that has the ability to choose, like to go against our instinct, for example. Person in a monogamous relationship walking down the street sees the, hottest person they've ever seen and is like, oh yeah, would and won't. You know what I'm saying? Can dogs do that? No. It's pretty impressive. It's pretty cool. Dare yourself. Challenge yourself. Be willing to get a little excited and curious about what else is possible, and get a little bit out of that comfort zone. That comfort zone is quite stagnant. And you've got all these great cards for like stand on your own 2 feet. You have everything that you need. You're more able and more creative than you might be giving yourself credit for. So take that, drink that in. You might be able to create more, especially this week, than you might be aware. You might be able to really open things up and open up your options in a really big, important way this week. Okay? Okay. So that is our day-by-day forecast. And now let's get into the elemental forecast. Let's get into the readings for all of the signs. These cards are already jumping, so Spirit's ready to go. This week we'll start with the earth signs. They went last week. So, tuning in to that slow, deep earth energy. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn people. Spirit, we want to know what you want to bring their awareness to for their highest good this week. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Already one stalker. Let's see what else we get. Let's look at money, jobs, resources, the practical points coming week. Spirit, what do the earth signs benefit from knowing? Okay. And now looking at their headspace. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, in the realm of the mind, communications, thoughts, Spirit. What is the vibe? Good, good. And what about emotionally? That deeper intuitive and emotional realm. Relationships. Beautiful. And finally, their fire. Their energy, their spark, their drive. For Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn people. Hey, wow. Spirit is like, this is what happens when you break a dam. Things really get to flowing and moving. So let's talk. That is, woo, that's great. So listen, I know that most of us don't see the death card and think, that's great. Wait till I show you the rest of your cards. So earth signs, walking through the door, closing it behind you. What is done? You will know it because it's like there's no energy left in this. It's, for some people, it can be a relationship, can be the dead-end job, can be the, Spirit is saying the end of a really long road. Like, okay, I've completed this project. I get to close the books on it, set it aside. Now what? And Spirit is saying when you break a dam, things really get to flowing. You have 3 6s. Six of Swords, Six of Wands, Six of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles. All of these cards are in various ways about things flowing and moving, particularly after stagnation or conflict. So what kind of dam are you knocking down in your life, Earth sign? What is standing in your way is one way that Spirit is asking. So it could be, this is just something that I'm hearing, it could be like loyalty to a certain job or career path. And death doesn't have to look like walking in and quitting the job. It can be having the internal understanding that this is over. This is ending, this door is closing, and I need to walk through it on purpose and shut it behind me. And Spirit is getting into the talking about like a job, because Two of Pentacles can often mean looking for a new job, seeking a new job, or even kind of like incorporating a side hustle, moving the money around just a little bit at a time to see what works and how we can find a new balance. There's some multitasking happening here. Looks really reciprocal is the other thing that Spirit is saying, which let's just talk about these 3 sixes. And all of the sixes in the tarot, hello, hello, welcome, welcome, are about reciprocity. When I give, I receive, right? So let's jump here to the Six of Cups. Spirit is talking about, one of the things they're saying, Earth signs, right off the bat, you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to do this alone. There are people who love you, people who will support you, whether it's like, hey, I just need like a sounding board. I need somebody to bounce off this creative idea. Or, hey, like I'm thinking about quitting this job. I want to go to a new career path, but like I'm not sure. I would really just, I'm too close to the case is something that Spirit is saying, is like, I'm too close to the case. So I would really love to bring in like a friend, a mentor, a loved one, somebody to kind of see me from the outside and give me some perspective that helps me move things along. So I see it. Somebody may reach out to you, or you may reach out to somebody. Either way, it's a really beautiful exchange. So don't hold back. That's really what I would say, is don't hold back. Change is good. It's necessary. It's transformative. Well, when I see death and the Six of Swords in the same spread together, it's a really good indicator for me that whatever it was that ended needed to end so that you could be free, so that you could move on to clearer, easier days. And specifically, Spirit is saying like your mind feeling lighter, clearer. It's like, this was so heavy. This was so heavy on my mind all of the time, to the point where, you know, it's funny how Spirit comes through, but what they're showing me is like somebody setting like rocks and things like that on top of like something that is trying to grow. And it's like it prevented my Earth sign, nature-oriented self from growing. It was like tamping me down. So I feel like you are removing blockages, breaking dams, and that is going to allow you to show up and show out in a really spectacular way. Six of Wands is, look at this. I'm really good at this. I want everybody to see it, and everybody does. So showing off our skills, our talents, maybe feeling more emboldened is the word that Spirit is using. So speaking in a bolder way, dressing, even walking and like doing your career in a bolder way, being more proud of yourself is something that I'm hearing too. So especially for those of you that have put something to an end that was really difficult, I would like you to know that Spirit is like, victory and clarity and easier, brighter days are ahead for those of you that choose to go ahead and let this quote unquote die. I have to say about the Death card, I always want to make a distinction that it's not the Tower, right? There's not like this violent, shocking thing that is outside of your control. Death is like a natural part of life. We go through phases, and then that phase ends, and then we enter a new phase, and so on. So this is not some big, terrible, scary thing. This may be something that is difficult to let go of, because nobody likes change but a wet baby. And death does indicate change. And as humans, and particularly as Earth sign humans, we like to know what's happening. We like to know step by step. I can see all of the path ahead of me. This is a whole new path, is what Spirit is saying. If you break down this dam And if you participate in the death cycle rather than resisting it, you are going to like go flowing on that. That spirit is showing me is like the dam breaking, the water flowing, and you getting floated to the next spot. And that and what do they mean by that? They mean that it will happen naturally and easily when you let go of this thing that you know needs to die and you walk through the door. Okay? So let that give you courage. And I see you have plenty. So I don't need to give you any extra, but have it anyway. That it will be better for you. All these cards unmitigatedly say it will be better for you and there will be movement. So if you felt stagnant, here comes movement, especially as you are willing to let go of something that is no longer giving you life. Okay? Okay. I hope that that is helpful, Earth signs. Now, let's move from Earth on up to the sky. Let's talk to the air signs. Let's talk to Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. The communicators, the messengers, the thinkers of the zodiac spirit, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Want to know what you want to bring their awareness to for their highest good. What is an overarching theme in the coming week that air signs benefit from being aware of? Okay, another stalker. Let's see. How about with money and resources, spirit? Time, effort, energy. What do the air signs need to know about money? Beautiful. Okay. And what about their own realm? The realm of thoughts. How is the head space of the air signs, spirit? What's the weather like? The internal weather for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Okay. Y'all have any earth placements? What about the heart, spirit, emotions, relationships, feelings? Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. What's the vibe? Okay. And finally, what about their light, their fire, their energy, drive, creativity, excitement, spirit? What do you want to point out to the air signs? So, when one door closes, another door opens. I asked if any of you have earth placements because we've got a little bit of a theme here, but perhaps, like I said, all of the signs are going through this kind of choice point, letting go of what doesn't feel authentic or true or enlivening anymore, period. Enlivening is enough. Like if it's not giving you joy or excitement, it might be a sign that it's dying, that it's dead. Okay, just saying. Your mileage will vary. So, why do I say that? Let's talk about it. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. The theme of the week is justice. It is making decisions that reverberate through your whole life. For some of you, I'm even hearing like sign on the dotted line, like there's a contract, maybe like I'm signing a lease or I'm signing over rights or I'm whatever. There is something that whether you're literally signing a contract or putting things into like in ink, this is like Spirit is saying this is in ink on your soul, even if it's not in ink on some type of piece of paper. I am making a decision that, let's talk about it. When one door closes, another door opens. Spirit is saying as I look at these two next to each other, I choose myself. So for some of the air signs, it is as simple as I have to choose myself. This waiting for somebody else or something else to affirm me, to ratify me, to give back to me, I'm not going to wait. So for that will not apply to everybody, right? But for whom that applies, where it's like I keep waiting for this person to reach out or whatever this is, it's like, okay, this is not good enough for me. So I'm making a choice and I'm going to, Spirit is saying, act accordingly. So it's not just making the choice. It's like, and now what do I need to do? Do I need to block the person? Do I need to have a talk with somebody and say, hey, like this is what needs to happen now, or this is what I've decided, or whatever. There is a really important choice to make, and you want to be in a balanced frame of mind when you make it. That's just something that Spirit is bringing back from the weekly forecast. You don't want to make this decision on the spur of the moment. You want to really take the time and space you need to like kind of look at the evidence, right? That's what the Justice card can represent, is like, okay, Exhibit A, they keep not responding to my texts or whatever it is, like Exhibit B, yada, yada, yada. What is this showing me? And when I weigh everything out, what is the right choice? Let me make it. And it does seem with the Ten of Swords, there's something that has, like, I've been overdoing it. I've been really ramped up and in my head about this, and it's exhausting. And I think that in that case, if you know what that is for you, that might be the thing to let go, to dust off your hands and say, I did everything that I could, which again is implied by the Ten of Swords. You said everything you could. You tried saying it every single way, gently, forcefully, persuade, cajole, coerce, whatever, and none of it worked. You did everything that you could. You can feel in balance, letting this go, okay? And you can do it with grace, is something that I'm hearing. You can do it with grace. It doesn't have to be, fuck you, man, nah, 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 nah. You don't need the last word. You just need it to be over. That's something that Spirit is saying, okay? So just for those of us maybe with some Gemini placements or something where it's like, well, before I go, I'm going to really stick it to... That'd be another waste of your energy. Do it with grace, because honestly, that will get at them more than you going off. Because you going off gets to leave them with a bad taste in their mouth, like, see, I'm so glad I didn't further engage with that person or that thing or whatever. But if you do it with grace, ooh, when they're up at night being like, damn, and they were always so cool and they were always so nice, even when I was being a jackass. So, just saying, just saying, you can do it with grace. Nine of Cups, satisfy yourself in a balanced way. Take care of yourself, prioritize yourself. Again, waiting around for somebody else to have a different response is not the move. Taking care of yourself and making sure that you're doing things that bring you pleasure, that fill your cups, that remind you that you are worthy of taking care of and that nobody else has to do that for you, is something that I'm hearing. So it's like, if you wait for somebody to send you flowers, get yourself some fucking flowers if you want some flowers. If you want a massage, book a damn massage. Like, take care of yourself. You deserve, and you don't have to wait for somebody else to give that to you or to like make you think that you are lovable. You are lovable. Like, you're here. You're worthy. Yes. Take what's yours. Enjoy yourself and really prioritize that enjoyment this week. Spirit is saying this is one of the things that will actually bring you into better balance. You know, and that makes sense. It's like, if I had to make a really important decision by the end of the week and somebody said, well, you can go on with your week as usual and you can show up to your day job and do 10-hour shifts and this and that and try to scrape in some sleep in between the job and the caretaking and the clean the house and the da-da-da-da, and then make your choice. And then they said, or you could take a couple days off, get a massage, go for a long walk in your favorite botanical garden, come back, take a nap, meditate, then make this decision. I would choose that one. I would choose the one that is like, ooh yeah, like you're designing some of my dreams. These are some of my dream things that I really want and would really fill my cups. And then I'm going to make a decision from a full place, not from an empty place. Okay? So if we make a decision from an empty place, sometimes like we might make a bad decision. We might make a decision because we believe that like, I need this. Do you? If it makes you feel like this, I guarantee you don't need it. Period. Period. Okay? With so much love. Looking at your money. Really gorgeous. Ace of Pentacles. New opportunity, new income, new source. Spirit is saying for some of you, this could look like, hey, here's your new job. Come in and do all the paperwork. That could be one version of Justice combined with the Ace of Pentacles. Some of you, it's like, I have an invention or a product or something like that. I need to trademark it. I need to look into the legality of how I do this, that, and the other thing. That's just something that I'm hearing. It would be a really good idea for you to look into that. Could be really good. Hey, hey, welcome Carrie Ann, welcome Elka Bong. Never late, happy to see you. That's what the rewind button's for. It's all good, it's all in divine timing. So, new money, new invention, new resource. If you cultivate it, it will grow, but you do need to cultivate it, okay? The Ace of Pentacles is a golden opportunity, not to be confused with a silver platter. Silver platter, it's all done, it's all ready for you. Golden opportunity, I need to take this and use it and work it and cultivate it and take care of it. And guess what? Guess who is going to have better results taking care of an Ace of Pentacles? The person with the nice full cups of water that she can pour onto the seed and watch it grow. Not this person who is in this dead, craggy, empty, dry, arid ass place, okay? So again, making your decision from a full place. Seeing how worthy you are and how capable you are from a very full place, okay? Because you have much further, more exciting places to go. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, your ships are coming in. Look across the way. You know, Spirit is saying when the day is clear, you can see the mainland. And Spirit is saying you have another place that you could go. Take that whatever way that it applies to you, because that is a metaphor. You have a further, better place that you could go. And while we're here, you've come quite far. So please give yourself that appreciation that yes, even if something has gone wrong or ended or didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to, you still really need to pause and give yourself a pat on the back for everything that you've accomplished up until now. And the way that you handle this next situation and this next choice, I think has the potential to have you feeling very full of yourself in the best way. Like, and this is how they're showing it to me. I love the way I showed up to that final conversation with that person. I'm so proud of myself because I was able to say what I needed to say, but also to like speak from love and speak from the heart and leave that person knowing exactly what they did or what they need to do or whatever it is. And I love me. Like, holy shit, I really did that. I'm so proud. I don't know. My geriatric millennials, my Xers, my boomers, you've probably seen Bridget Jones' Diary. It's like they're showing me a moment where she's able to tell somebody off and walk away and is kind of like giggling to herself because it's like, yeah, I totally did that. Like, that was amazing. I did the shit out of that. That's what they're showing me. So you can be proud of yourself, show up like so confident and so Nine of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, and then you can walk away and giggle about like what a fucking amazing job you did and how they never saw it coming. That's just what I'm hearing. Okay. All right, air signs. Gifts and new opportunities and new horizons heading in, so don't bemoan the endings. It's okay. Endings turn into new beginnings as swiftly as we're able to let them go and welcome in. Okay? That's what I'm hearing. Okay. Now, let's talk to the water signs. Let's talk to Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. A reminder, if you know your full birth chart, you might be a sun in Aries, but maybe you have moon in Pisces or Cancer. Maybe you have Mars and Venus over in Scorpio. If you have a lot of personal planets in any one of the other elements, you might want to check and see how those readings lay over each other. Get a more complete, comprehensive kind of message. So, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces people. Spirit, there is a through line for the water element this week. What do you want to bring to their awareness for their highest good? Beautiful. Okay. And Spirit, what about looking at their resources, money, jobs, skills? What do you want to share with the water signs? Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces in the headspace. Messages, the internal weather report, Spirit, for the water signs. Okay. And what about their own element? Emotions, relationships, the deeper realms of intuition. Hey, okay. And finally, Spirit, their fire, their inner light, their drive, creativity, excitement, energy. What are the energy levels and textures feeling like for the water signs? A choice, another choice. They're really emphasizing. And some of it is, there is really just something happening here where it's like, we have to make these choices. And for some of us, it doesn't feel so much like a choice because it's like, well, this thing is ending and I have to choose to try something else, or I have to choose myself because that's what I'm left with, or something like that. But I want to say the loss feels small compared to the gain. That's just what I'll say. And let me just show you why. I don't need to hold back from you, right? Let's get past the trailer of the film. Here, water signs, is the overall message for you this week. The world, huge, huge accomplishment, huge graduation, huge understanding. Like, oh my God, now I get it. That's really the vibe with the world. Is imagine, you're at the, you go to the carnival, and you get on the Ferris wheel, and you get all the way to the top, and they do the thing where they pause the ride so that the people sitting at the top can really take it in. Spirit saying, like, now you can look around the whole carnival, the whole amusement park, and be like, oh yeah, we were over there, and then we did that. Oh my God, I didn't even know that was here. We're definitely going to that next. Like, it's this massive perspective, and being able to make a choice that isn't so easy, but because you have this huge, massive perspective, this sense of, Spirit is saying, like, past, present, and future, like really long range vision. Three of Swords is a disappointment. It is sometimes a separation, sometimes from a person, sometimes from ourselves, like thinking the kind of mean thoughts to ourselves that cut us off from confidence, or self-love, or like connection. So Spirit is saying some of the water signs have a little bit of a problem with talking shit to themselves. So please be gentle with you. If you are reading yourself the riot act just because like you maybe like are disappointed in yourself, or you wish you'd been able to show up in a slightly different way, or you wish you were at a slightly different place, like, please don't talk shit to yourself. You are worthy. You've learned a lot. And even this heartbreak, even this Three of Swords feeling of severing or isolation, Spirit is saying in some ways it's setting you free. So I don't mean that makes it feel good, but it is setting you free. It's giving you the opportunity to learn something. And I feel that for some of you, it's very much like, this is like one single person who is disappointing me. And again, that might be a very important person. So I'm not trying to downplay like the level of disappointment. But it feels like, again, I feel like this sense of like, perhaps there's like a maturity differential here that is like, this person is, they don't get it. And I feel like there's even, I don't like saying this, but this is what I feel. For some of you, this person knows how tender and sensitive and kind you are, and they know that if they say this a certain way, that it will hurt you and make you feel, oh my God, did I do something wrong? Like, oh my God, did I mess up? And it's really like, I just really feel like, no, you're not the one who messed up in this situation, and they're trying to fuck with your head because they know which buttons to push. That's just something that I'm hearing. That may not be true for everybody. I'm not trying to make anybody paranoid. But I feel like if you have a person in your life who is kind of emotionally manipulative, like, hey, that was a little extra hurtful, or hey, that was a little bit of a sharp way to say that, there was no need for that. I feel like, what are you learning from that person? And what else, like, what more do you really need to learn from that person? That would be my second question, is like, is there more to get out of this? Or is this maybe one of those dust your hands off and walk away situations like it was laid out in the weekly forecast? Just a question. Regardless of who it comes from, the disappointment or the feeling of like, this is one of the things that I'm hearing is like, they don't get me. They don't get me. They don't understand. And I feel like they don't necessarily want to understand. You can learn something from that and go better. Seven of Pentacles. Looking at your money. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. We'll see you next time. It's okay. It'll be up. So, looking at Seven of Pentacles. Again, there's a little bit of an implication of a choice. And cutting off one thing so that something else can thrive. Seven of Pentacles. We've got two plants here. This person is looking at their yield. This plant has yielded 5 pentacles. This one has only yielded 2. They're taking a pause to reevaluate what's working, what's not. What's feeding me and feeding my life and feeding my energy and making me feel like enlivened is the word that Spirit is using. And what is diminishing returns or even straight up draining my energy. I'm ready to let it go. Oh, yay. I appreciate that, Jennifer. You have a good one. I hope it's a fast and easy shift. Hey, that's a fun pun. Okay. So, speaking of choices, Two of Wands. There is something else out there. So if, water signs, you've been thinking, is there something else out there for me? Like, could I make a different choice? Is there more available? Yes, there is more available. Two of Wands. You have one thing that's already established, maybe the current job, and then there's something else calling to you. And this is something, Spirit is being very specific right now. They're saying for somebody, this looks like, I'm going to go teach English in Korea. Like, whatever it is that's here, I don't want it. Like, I'm going to go, again, teach language overseas, or go do like communal farming in some place that I've never been before, because literally, like, there's nothing for me here and I just want something completely new. And that would also match with the world of, like, potentially world travel, world broadcasting, or publishing, or etc. So really widening your scope by ironically limiting your options or choices. It's a good thing. It's like less is actually truly more. So I feel like also getting rid of maybe some responsibilities that don't belong on your shoulders anymore. Something else really gorgeous. I feel like you celebrate the fuck out of this choice by the end of the week. I feel like you are really excited about where you're headed. And I mean that in multiple ways. I mean, like, geographically. I also mean looking at this Seven of Pentacles and thinking, how am I spending my money and my effort? And then reevaluating and reallocating is what I'm hearing. Like, I need to be spending more time on this or less time on that, or this habit is actually draining my ability or my energy or my outlook, so I need to do less of that or stop that altogether. It creates a celebration. You are going to be not only feeling like I've graduated, you're going to be sharing the wealth. And really, I feel like getting together with friends. You might even be part of some kind of like, or maybe you want to start like an accountability buddy circle, where it's like, hey, I'm trying to do this. I know that you're working on that. And I know that you're working on that. Maybe we could get on a Zoom once a month and update each other on how it's going or whatever, and help each other do more of what we love and more of what we care about, and celebrate each other's wins, especially when sometimes the people that are close by might not be able to celebrate our wins the same way that these people can. So, just to say, looks like a pretty amazing week. New options and opportunities opening up again as a result of certain things moving out of the way, which may at first seem very disappointing, but Spirit is having me hearken back to the Four of Cups that showed up in the weekly forecast of like, hey, it might seem like a disappointment now, but there is something completely new coming from a place that you haven't even begun to look yet. So your blessing is coming. It's just not coming necessarily from the direction or in the guise, the version that you were wanting or expecting it. Universe has a bigger imagination than we do. So it could actually be way bigger and better. And this will seem like a very minor disappointment in comparison. That's something that I'm hearing. So a little disappointment for a big, huge leap forward, we'll take it. Sometimes the people around us are limited in themselves, and so they, whether they intend to or not, they limit us. And that is something that I'm hearing for the water signs. So maybe you have family members or friends who are like more conservative than you. Like, I don't mean necessarily politically, though, maybe. I mean, like, you have a big dream of accomplishing something amazing, and they're like, oh, I don't know, that's kind of outrageous, or that's kind of big, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and kind of try to tamp you down. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Don't do that. Don't let them tamp you down. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Let's now move finally to our fire signs. Appreciate your patience, fire signs. Let's talk to Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Spirit tuning in for my spirited fire people in this week. What is the overall energy the awareness that you want to bring to them. Beautiful card. Okay. And looking at money, resources, opportunities, jobs, skills. Beautiful. Okay, okay, okay. And Spirit, what about the fire signs headspace? What kind of thoughts? What is the flavor? Okay. I really wish that I kept a spreadsheet so I could know which cards each element had been getting over the course of the weeks, because I feel like you've gotten this one a couple times. We're going to talk about it. Okay. What about their heart space, Spirit? The fire signs when it comes to relationships, feelings, even the deeper realms of intuition, Spirit. What kind of connections or emotions are flowing through the fire signs? Beautiful. And finally, what about their own elements? Their own drive, excitement, energy, fire. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Wow, the fire is firing. Let's say that. Okay, I want to pull one more because I need to know what this is about. Bear with me, fire signs. We're going to get right into it. Tell me just a little bit more about this, Spirit. Tell me a little bit more about this. No, that's what that felt like. Okay. Okay. Okay, you know what? I want to start here. I want to start with your head because that's really the only little spot of static in your whole reading. Fire signs, don't overthink it. Your card for the week is beautiful. I mean, the star is nothing else if not a huge ball of fire, right? Lighting up the whole world. This is you sharing of what you are freely, without armor, without even clothes, right? It's like the star is, this is who I am. And I'm not ashamed of any part of it. I don't feel the need to cover up any lumps or bumps or nudity or any of that. This is me. This is who I am. So the star says, go and give the world what it is you have to offer. Replenish what you have been given is something that I'm hearing. And by that, they mean you've been given these certain talents, right? As fire sign people, you're the sparklers of the zodiac. You know, are you a sparkler? Are you a torch? Are you a firework? Are you a hearth? Whatever kind of fire that you have, you want to take care of it. You want to give it the right container so that it is sustainable, so that you don't burn yourself out, right? Or burn the candle at both ends or all that kind of thing. I feel that you are making the fatal fire mistake, which is overthinking and overanalyzing your next steps, rather than just going with who and how you are. The star is about being led by our faith, by our beliefs, right? When do we see the stars? They're always there, right? Always right where they are in the sky, but we can only see them when things get really dark. So the idea is, if we had the sun here, it would be, you can see everything, you know exactly how to navigate, where to go, where to not go, etc. But this is the star. It's not saying trust your eyes and even your ears. It's, you have to bring in all of your senses. Imagine if you were walking alone in unfamiliar woods at night. The star would be the way that you would guide yourself. So the idea is, when nothing else is showing you what to do, we have to go to our inner light. You know, what does the version of me that I most want to be do in this moment? How do I respond in the way that feels like this is really who I am and the kind of energy that I want to pour into the world? You shine the most bright when you're not trying to protect yourself, is something that I'm hearing. And Eight of Swords is kind of a backwards method of self-protection, is I won't go forward until I can do it exactly right. And I'm going to hearken us back to the channeled message at the beginning of the reading when Spirit showed me the cauldron and the messy, spits of the magic onto the floor and all of that. It is messy. to try to keep from making a mistake or having to start over or having to take a step back. Ironically, we can freeze ourselves in place and make way less progress than we would even if we were fucking around and finding out, as it were, right? And you have a card for fuck around and find out. Seven of Wands. You can fight for what you believe in. You can stand up for yourself. You can shine and even fight for other people and other causes is something that I'm hearing with the Seven of Wands is like, I'm really passionate about this, and when I die and I go to the afterlife and I get to rewatch the movie of my life, I want to have a lot more scenes where I'm on my feet cheering than that I'm cringing and going, oh God, I really wish that I had responded to this in a different way. You know what I'm saying? So don't limit yourself. Don't hide your light under a bushel with that Eight of Swords of like, but it's not perfect yet, or I don't know what every step of the way is going to look like, and I better not make a move until I have a perfect plan. That could be a really sneaky way of preventing yourself from moving forward. So I feel with the Star, go with the flow. Trust what you know inside. Maybe the whole external world is showing you something different, is presenting something different. In this particular case, this particular week, Spirit is saying you can trust yourself and follow your bliss, follow your faith, follow your values. No matter what anybody else does, this is how I want to be. This is how I want to show up. And when you show up in the fullness of your passion and your drive and your fire, nobody can stop you. Okay? You can stand up against anything. And here's something nice. You don't have to do it alone. You have beautiful cards for the emotional and the financial realm, but the Ten of Pentacles has an additional blessing of like there's a support system around. So Two of Cups, who, especially when you might get confused and frozen, helps you really see yourself. Helps you remember what you have to give, gives you the other cup so that you can have two cups in each hand, replenishing heaven and earth, right? Who really helps you remember who you are? Go be with this person. Spend some time with this person this week. Exchange cups with this person, okay? There's chemistry. There's chemistry. There's a lot of possibility here. And I feel like this is the support that you need to be able to take what you're trying to do all the way. That's something that I'm hearing. And all the way is very blessedly indicated by the Ten of Pentacles. This is more than enough. This is, I have so much money or support or skills, or I've built something that will now live on beyond me. Like the family business is one way that you could see the Ten of Pentacles. Like you have cultivated something, whether by yourself or with others, you've cultivated something to the point where you can even share generously with people. So maybe this is money, maybe it's not. Maybe it's like, I've grown my skills to this massive point where now I can share my skills with all these different people and I never run out. That's something that I'm hearing. And hello, guess who else can contribute and contribute and contribute and never run out? And why is that? It's because they are speaking and doing from the seat of their soul. Not from what their mind thinks is the best approach or the most strategic or whatever. No, from the soul. This is what I know I need to do. Because guess the fuck what? That's what's actually going to bring you happiness in the end. So even if you make a decision that brings in a whole bunch of money but is disconnected from your soul, you will ultimately feel drained by that. Okay? So don't worry about analyzing. Don't worry about coming up with a perfect answer. Look for a resonant answer. Okay, when I think about what I want to do next, don't discount your joy. If there's joy and excitement and curiosity and attraction there, then there's a lesson there. Okay? Whether it's the end all be all, that's another thing. I'm attracted to this person, or I'm attracted to this job and I think I want to go for it and try it out. And you do. It may be the end all be all, where it's like, yep, that was the love of your life. Or meeting that person might introduce you to a hobby or a location or another person that is the end all be all or leads you further down your road. So trust your instincts. Don't hold yourself back out of a fear of getting it wrong. Fuck around and find out. That is like your divine birthright as a fire sign, okay? That's what you're here to do. to make it up as you go along, to show the rest of us how to be brave and try to make things up as we go along, and just go with our gut, go with our faith, go with our belief in ourselves. Okay? So shine on, fire signs, and give of yourself. Give of what you have, because it is a very beautiful thing. And again, I feel that it will very much be shared and replenished. So enjoy that too. Sending y'all so much love. That brings us to the end of our forecast today. I hope that it is really helpful. And I hope that it helps you make the most of the week. I appreciate y'all being here live as always. It is really just a joy to see everybody in the chat and hear your thoughts. So until next week, love to you and see you soon. Bye, y'all.